ये हमारा चैप्टर है.
Yeah.
Okay. So the chapter that we should have discussed is the living and non-living then.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, we can still switch to that chapter. Getting it now?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you say we can begin with that chapter after we have covered that chapter, the living organisms. Okay, will you please read the full name of the chapter? Is it the living organisms, characteristics, and their habitats?
It is the living and the non-living
Huh?
characteristics of living things, viruses, entities between living and non-living.
Okay then. So let's let's discuss that chapter, and then we will be beginning with the new chapter then. Okay, after we have covered that, we will be talking about body movements then. So हम ऐसे करते हैं, let's get to discuss that chapter. So it's the living and non-living. Okay, and their characteristics. Okay, so first of all, if I were to talk
Yeah.
about the living things and the non-living things, what is the criteria? How do you basically say that whether a thing is living or non-living? Yes.
A living thing would breathe. They would need food.
Hmm?
Some living things move,
Hmm? They would do motion.
and yeah.
The most important thing is that they will be doing movements right now.
Yeah.
So first thing is that a living being will show some movement, right? Either they will be changing their position or either they will be changing their size and shape. So movement also is of two types. Either if the body were to change its position, or for example अगर हम plants की बात करते हैं, its size will increase, size and shape. Getting it now?
Yeah.
Okay. Then अगर हम non living की बात करते हैं, they will neither be changing their position, nor the size and shape will increase on its own. ठीक है ना?
Yeah.
So basically, we see that we are surrounded by plants, trees, okay, animals, birds, different types of microbes. Microbes यानी कि microorganisms में surrounded है. Okay ना? And then there are various non-living things also that is surrounding us, right? So based on certain parameters पे हमने classify किया है whether a body will be living one or whether it's a non-living body, right? So
Yeah.
that is how we have differentiated between the two. For example, जैसे हम living beings की बात कर रहे थे, living beings will show some movements, their position will be changing, or either their size will be increasing or their shape will also be changing. Getting it now? फिर हम
Yeah.
बात करते हैं कि जितनी भी living organisms है, they are made up of cells. They are made up of cells, right
Yeah.
now? They are made up of cells, and also majority of the living organisms that you get to see will actually give birth to their own kind, you know.
Yeah.
So they will actually be doing doing reproduction also, so they reproduce also right now. Also हम बात अगर करते हैं living organisms की, like they adapt to the environment in which they are living. वे अपने environment में adapt भी करते हैं, so they adapt to the environment they live in, isn't it, Abu?
Yeah.
What else we do know about living organisms? Like living organisms will react भी करते हैं ना living organisms. Like if you were to hit a living organisms, huh? If they if you were to hit the living organisms, any kind of living organisms right now, so it will react in certain ways now. Okay. और like अगर हम किसी भी living organism को अगर heat हम करते हैं, उसे hit करते हैं, Okay, you basically any kind of stimulus you will be providing to the living organisms, it will show some changes. It will respond to it. समझ रहे हो आप? Okay now.
Yeah.
So they respond to stimulus, right? So stimulus could be anything that brings about a change in the general state of a thing. किसी भी चीज की जनरल स्टेट है, अगर उसके स्टेट में कोई ऐसा एक्शन, अगर वो उसमें कुछ चेंजेस लाता है, उसे हम स्टिमुलस कहते हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल, इफ आई वे टू होल्ड दिस थिंग which is let's say this is very hot. If I were to hold it, immediate reaction would be what? I will be immediately removing my hand from it, right
Yeah.
now. So the immediate cause for removal of my action here was the heat. Thereby heat was a stimulus here, right now. So if someone was like to punch me, so I would avoid that punch. So immediate cause of that, of me moving away from that punch, was that punch coming towards me. So stimulus could be different thing. Getting it now? है ना? So also as you said moments ago कि वो breathe भी करते हैं. They will be breathing also, and they will be obtaining nutrition also, है ना? So वे nutrition भी लेते हैं. And more all the living organisms, almost all of them, they do respiration also. अगर हम bacteria की बात करते हैं, if you were to talk about bacteria, viruses, different types of pathogens, fungus, okay, the amoeba, all of them will be doing process of respiration also. फिर one of the most common, one more general thing about all the living organisms, that they will be doing excretion also, isn't it, Dabu?
Yeah.
So they will be doing excretion also. Are there any other things which we have missed in it? क्या हमने कुछ
Uh,
मिस किया है?
living things,
Hmm.
living some living things have
Hmm.
like one cell in their body. Some living things have
Yeah,
many cells.
yeah, that is another thing. Now हमने simply कह दिया कि they are made up of cells. Like फिर हम आगे हम देखते हैं, further we will look, like some of them are having one cell, some of them are having two cells. In the case of reproduction also हम बात करेंगे कि some have got sexual reproduction while some have asexual reproduction, right now. Then adaptation to environment के भी अगर हम further classification करते हैं, there are living organisms that can be found to be living in the harshest climate. For example, in the tundra vegetation, in the in the tropical rainforest, or in the polar regions, also in parts of Antarctica also, several organisms are living right now. In fact, जो dormant volcanoes हैं, the volcanoes that are no longer active, but still their core is hot. So there also certain microorganisms have been found to be living. ठीक है ना? Then there are
Yeah.
some of the microorganisms that are found to be living deep in the ocean as well. So different
Yeah.
environment में भी वो adapt करके रहते हैं. Stimulus की भी अगर बात करेंगे अगर हम, like if you were to place a plant nearby the window, अगर आपने एक plant लगाया है, okay ना, if you were to keep a plant nearby the window, and window से sun rays आ रही है, sun rays are coming by this window, so what will basically happen? The leaves, the branches of the plant will be bend, it will bend towards this window in order to receive the sunlight. हमने बस नियर बाय में रखा है, ऐसे नहीं कि हमने बस 1 मीटर, मतलब 10 मीटर या 20 मीटर दूर रख दिया है, then it will bend. No, you have just placed it nearby the window, so the branches of the tree or this plant over here will bend towards the window in order to get the sunlight. So ये भी एक stimulus है ना? Sunlight was a stimulus here. Yes, Abu, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right. Then
Uh,
breathing भी different manners में होती हैं organisms में. Yes, Abu, you were saying something?
there is one more thing, that all
Hmm.
living things
Hmm.
have a lifespan.
Hmm. Exactly. Living organisms have lifespan also. Okay, now,
Yeah.
like you have the giant tortoises that can live for like 100 to 150 years, I know, or it could, there are some which can live up to 200 years as well. Then there are giant trees that are as old as, like, there could be trees which can be old up to thousands of years, I know.
So banyan tree, it can live like 200 years or more.
Yeah, almost 200 years. For 200 years it can survive. Okay, as long as the roots are not infected by the fungus or termites, I know.
Yeah,
So these are the general characteristics. ये general characteristics है. In general characteristics में भी हम different types हम पढ़ते हैं, right? And they are also subdivided further, right?
yeah,
Okay, now so they are also subdivided further. Then talking about the non-living things, does non-living thing shows any of these characteristics over here? Yes. Do we get to see any of the characteristics in the case of non-living organisms?
no,
Obviously no. Okay, just give me a moment. Yes, it does not show any of the characteristics, right? All right, so with this, let's start our discussion then, right?
yeah,
All right, so basic thing here, we will be defining an organism first. Like, what is an organism? Okay, first you try to define it, then I will move ahead then. Like, what do we basically mean by the term organism?
uh, mm, in an organism, like
Mhm.
it is it's like the part, it's like the thing inside the living thing.
Things inside the living thing. Look here. Basically, organism is simply defined as what? It is simply defined as the living things that could be ranging from a microscopic organism to a elephant-sized animal, right now, or
Yeah,
anything that is in between a microorganisms and a elephant-sized animal, right now, an elephant basically. So एक microbe हमने ले लिया, for example amoeba you have taken. You know what is amoeba?
yeah,
Single cell living organisms. And then you
yeah,
have, like, you have the elephant over
yeah,
here. Okay, now you have elephant over here, right?
yeah,
So ranging from an elephant to a microorganisms, it could be anything that is present in between, right? So we simply define that an organisms is simply defined as defined as any living things. Okay, it could range from a microscopic animal or microbe to an elephant and everything in between it. Okay, and everything in between it. That is simply the definition of organisms, right? And then, like,
mm,
it will not just include the, like, animals, it will also include plants in it, you know. It
yeah,
will be including different types of plants, whether it's shrubs, herbs, or trees it is right now. Then it will also include different types of animals that are living in different habitats. So organisms living in different habitats, whether it is in oceans, whether it is in land, that will also be part of it right now.
yeah,
And then plants growing in different regions. whether it is growing in the desert, okay, whether the plants that are growing in the tropical areas, like you have the tropical rainforest, हमारे पास example है,
Yeah.
tropical rainforest, or whether it is the grassland, all these are part of the organisms right now. Then you have like fishes also, the ones that are in the oceans. Okay, so that is basically in general about the different types of organisms. And then we could get to see that it could range from a single cell organism to a multicellular organism, right?
Yeah.
So a single cell है, and that is a multicellular organism. Multicellular organisms. Then the characteristics of living organisms. Moments ago we just saw that these are the characteristics of living organisms, right? Okay.
Yeah.
अगर हम प्लांट की बात करते हैं ना, if you were to talk about characteristics of living organisms में, if you were to look at the plant, usually if you were to see the plant, they do not appear to move like we humans, like the humans are moving, like the chimpanzees are jumping from here to there, like the polar bears are moving, like the birds are flying in the air. So the plants do not tend to show any movement, right?
Yeah.
On the another hand, अगर मैं एक कार को देखता हूँ, if I have to look at a car and a bus, huh? If I have to look at a car and a bus, I know like the general characteristics of a living organism is that it will show movement, right? So can I say that a car and a bus or a train is a living organism? Can I say that? And if not, then why? Abu, why
No.
can't we say that
No.
they are? Hmm,
No.
yes.
All are not, because they are like powered from engine. Like basically
Hmm,
they don't
hmm.
they do not eat, like they do not excrete.
Exactly. Exactly. Neither they are made up of cells, neither they do reproduction, neither they are breathing, neither respiration, right now. Neither they do the process of excretion, right now.
Yeah.
So just by merely looking at the movement of the body, we can't characterize them to be living organisms, right? So अगर हम इसमें भी अगर बात करते
Yeah.
हैं in case of movement, particularly about the plant, so plant is basically growing taller and then its branches are expanding. So that is another type of movement, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So characteristics. Moments ago we saw that characteristics. Will you please repeat what were the characteristics we just discussed?
uh, they they breathe, uh, they do reproduction, and
Hmm?
they have a lifespan, and they are made up of cell. Yeah, already said.
Hmm? Hmm?
uh,
Ah,
they, they take in energy.
hmm. Okay. Require nutrition, we can say. They require nutrition to take energy. And
Yeah.
then
uh,
adaptation. That is one of the important characteristics of any living organisms, right now.
yeah.
Okay, and adaptation does not happen in a day or two. हाँ, अगर मैं कहता हूँ, like if you were to go to the hilly areas, right now, so the people who are already living in the hilly areas, their body, in their body, the blood circulation is higher as compared to the one that is living in the low-lying areas. You know why is it so? The people that are living in the hilly areas, in their body blood circulation is comparatively or slightly more than the ones more than the we people who are living in the low lying land. Why is it so? Because the thing here is now the people who are residing in the plateau region or in the hilly areas, right? So there what happens, the pressure, atmospheric pressure is low. वहाँ क्या है वो? L-
atmosphere is there.
hmm, air is thinner here, low atmospheric pressure is there, right? So
Yeah,
thereby what happens, as compared to the human body, the pressure outside is more. Human body ke, no actually the thing is, as compared to the human body, the pressure outside is low while inside it's high. Getting it now? So thereby usually the blood circulation is more in the people that are living there, right? And if we people were to go and live in the hilly areas, we will be developing conditions like breathlessness. Kya hai wo? Breathlessness, right?
yeah,
Because the air is thinner there, while the people who are already living there, they will not have that much of difficulty as we will be having. Why? Because they have been living there for hundreds and thousands of years. That's why they have adapted. उन्होंने adaptation किया है, right? So adaptation is a slow process. It does not occur in a day or two. It takes hundreds and hundreds of years, right? Now similarly, like the animals who are living in their habitat, once they might not have been familiar and comfortable with the environment, but over the years they basically adapted themselves. Getting at what I'm trying to say?
yeah,
Yeah. So initially, like the thing is that the monkeys, okay, they might not have been used to uh, jump from one tree to another. Initially it might have been case, but then over the years, okay, over the thousands of years, right now, they had the necessity of climbing from one tree to another in order to avoid themselves from predators, right? Or they could actually hang from the trees using their tails, you know that, right? So all these characteristics that develop in the living organisms, they basically take time. Okay, so that is adaptation then, right? And the one more thing we discussed, that they do um, respond to stimulus also, right? Now respond to
yeah,
stimulus. And then several other things we discussed, like excretion is also there, right? And nutrition is also there. The reproduction we discussed that. Okay, respiration, they do respiration also, right? So these are the general things about the living organisms, right? So we will be discussing about each of them in detail now. Okay, so let's discuss with the very first thing. Like the very first thing common in all the living organisms is the process of nutrition. Everyone requires nutrition, whether it's a bacteria or virus or a gigantic mammal. Everyone requires nutrition, right, Abu? So
yeah.
nutrition. So we already, I think we discussed this several times. What is nutrition? Hmm. So how do we define nutrition? Try and define this. Like in simple terms, you can define it. Simple terms are define कर सकते हैं.
Nutrition is uh, like there's like a thing in our body, in everyone's body that we all need all types of nutritions. So nutrition basically gives us energy.
Okay. Nutrition is simply the act by which organisms obtains their food, and then that food is utilized to perform the various functions, to perform the various activities. Okay, so इसे हम simply nutrition कहते हैं. And to be able to perform different functions, right? Like externally हम देख रहे हैं कि हम physical activities perform कर रहे हैं, right? But internally also there are different activities going on in our body which we don't realize, हाँ? Like हमारे body के अंदर blood की movement हो रही है, but do we actually feel it? Like yeah, just by checking your pulse you can feel it, but all the while क्या हमें feel हो रहा है कि like there's actual flow of blood in our body, or like the heart is
No.
pumping the blood continuously? Okay, we can't just, if I'm sitting over here I can't actually feel it, but if I were to place my hand over the chest, then I will be able to feel it, right? Similarly,
Yeah.
there are several materials that is passing from a cell to the outside medium, and then from the blood several materials are passed inside the cell. ये हमारा let's say cell है, okay ना, say it is a cell, so there is continuous exchange of materials in and outside this cell, है ना? लेकिन क्या हम उसे फील कर पा रहे हैं एक्चुअली? नो, राइट?
Yeah.
सो नो, सेल के अंदर जो भी हमारा like materials का transaction हो रहा है, whatever materials are entering this cell and whatever materials are exiting this cell, we don't actually feel it. क्या हम feel करते हैं ऐसे? Yes, अबू, think, try to connect this thing, connect करने की कोशिश करें आप. Like we are breathing, हम breathe कर रहे हैं, या we can अगर हम focus करते हैं तो हम feel कर सकते हैं कि yes we are breathing, okay ना? हम like I'm waving my hand, I'm doing movement, yes I can see yes मैं movement कर रहा हूँ. So उस movement के लिए भी जो external movements मैं कर रहा हूँ, for that purpose or I also require energy, हाँ, or not? And हमारे body के अंदर भी internal movements are continuously happening. What internal movements? Like flow of blood is there, right? Or digestion of food is also there.
Yeah.
Digestion of food is also there. Passing of food from the stomach to the intestine, huh? Passing of food from the esophagus to the intestine, and then from the um, passing of food from the esophagus to the stomach, and then from stomach to the small intestine, and then to the large intestine. All this process actually requires energy. Getting it now? So energy दो तरह के कामों में utilize हो रही है. What are the two functions? Those are the internal movements and the external movements in our body, right? So all this activity, to continue them, we actually need energy, just like a car requires fuel to move ahead. Getting it now,
Yeah.
right? So it's simply nutrition को हमने कहा, the process by which animals obtain food and utilize it to perform various activities. What kind of activities? Whether it's a physical activity that we can see, or whether it's the internal activities going in our body. Is that clear?
Yeah.
And every organism needs energy, needs energy to stay alive. And this energy comes from nutrition. Comes from nutrition. Is that clear? Okay.
Yeah.
Now, like हम ये energy ले रहे हैं, like we are taking the food. Okay. So this food, this food will must bring some changes in our body. Like if an organism is in its young age, okay, in the infant age, so then the food that will be taken by the body will help the body to grow, है ना? in the shape and
Yeah.
size of the organism will change. So initially, when the body is young, when the organism is having is a young age, so at that time, nutrition will be mainly helping the body to grow in the shape and size. And then when the person or the any other organism has grown to its full size, to the adult size, then the food that will be taken up will be required to help the body to carry the different functions, and will also help in the repairing of the damaged tissues in the body. Okay,
Yeah.
so next thing जो हमने बात करनी है, that is growth. Okay, so you see basically
Yeah.
all the living organisms, whether it's flora or fauna, whether it's plants or whether it's animals, all of them will be showing growth in some manner. Right now, the manner in which an animal shows growth will be different to the manner in which a plant shows growth. Can you differentiate between the two?
I should give example of like they showing growth.
Yeah, example of how they show growth.
Like cats.
Hmm.
Like cats. They play when they're small, and then when
Hmm.
they grow up, they won't play.
Okay. Hmm. Now, the thing here is now, like, talking about growth in this manner. As I have written, all living organism grows and exhibit growth in different ways. They show growth in different ways. For example, a tree was once a sapling. Okay, a tree was once a sapling like this, but now it has grown to a full grown tree having branches like this. So here the growth was in this manner, upward growth like this, right? And then lateral growth can also be seen over here, right? Now, similarly,
Yeah.
if we to take example of a human baby, right? A human baby will also be growing. Suppose this is a human baby actually. Looks like an alien anyways. So suppose when the human baby grows to a full adult size, okay, so here also we get to see that the growth has occurred here as well. The height of the person of the baby has increased. Okay, now the uh, shape and size has changed over here. Right now, the boy is now, let's say, somewhat fat. Okay, or the more muscles has developed on the body. Getting it now? So look here.
Yeah.
After a certain point, this boy will stop growing further. Right? After a certain point, the boy will stop growing further. Right? So the only thing that will be taking place growth of in the body, in अगर एक एज की बात करते हैं, ग्रोथ का मीनिंग सिंपली क्या होता है, लाइक इफ देयर आर सम damaged tissues in the body, so that will be repaired and new cells will grow in the body. That is what growth means in the case of this boy over here. While a tree, once it has grown to an adult size, its branches can still grow. It will still start to expand, right? Like when the wilting of leaves occur. When wilting of leaves occur, new leaves come out now,
Yeah.
right? While if certain, while if say, if the hand of the this person was amputated in an accident, if the hand was amputated, will a new hand come out?
No.
Obviously no. So, but in the case of leaf, if the leaves were wilted, okay, in the spring season, so what we to see that in the spring season, new leaves will After the new spring season, new leaves will come out in the tree, है ना? So growth
Yeah.
is having different meaning for different types of organisms, right? All right
Yeah.
now. So one common thing अगर हम growth की बात करते हैं, whether I were to talk about this boy over here or this tree over here, the common thing about them is that they are made up of cells, है ना?
Yeah.
They are made up of cells, right? And how this boy actually grew. Suppose at this age the boy was of 1 years old. So suppose this boy had let's say 4 million cells in the body. Okay, now?
Yeah.
Now suppose when this boy is adult, now let's say 13 million cells are in the body. Okay, the figures are not exact, the figures are just here as exemplary. Okay, Abu?
Yeah.
So यहाँ पर क्या हो रहा है कि cells के number increase हुए हैं. The cells number has increased. So how the cells number increased? It basically started to divide. Okay, now? One cell divided into two, one cell divided into two cell. Okay, and these cells also further continue to divide. Getting it now?
Yeah.
So the common thing in the case of growth के बारे में जब भी बात करते हैं, there will be discussion regarding division of cells, right? So cells divide and grow, right now. And
Yeah.
in this manner, overall growth is achieved. This is how growth is achieved by an organism. Cells will be dividing and then growing. Is that clear?
Yeah.
All right then. Now the next thing common about all the living organisms, like once they have taken the food now, उन्होंने nutrition ले लिया. So nutrition will be helping in the growth because growth होने के लिए cells को divide करने के लिए it needs energy, right Abu? So that energy is coming from the food that the organism is eating. So taking in of the food is simply termed as nutrition. That is clear now. तो न्यूट्रिशन के बाद ग्रोथ होता है एंड देन ग्रोथ होता है. सो ग्रोथ इज ऑकरिंग देयर एंड ऑल्सो जब भी हम फूड लेते हैं दैट फूड इज ऑल्सो ब्रोकन डाउन ना. That food basically whatever food you are eating, it is broken down into millions of pieces in the body and from that energy is obtained. Yes Abu, are you getting it or not? So the next
Yeah.
process that is waiting to be discussed here is respiration. Okay, have you studied about respiration before? Yes,
Oh,
Abu, have you studied about respiration before?
no.
No. Okay. Look here. Basically, respiration में क्या होता है ना? Like we humans, in the context of humans, if I were to talk, say this is lungs of the human body. So we humans take in air. हम air लेते हैं. Yes. And then our lungs will filter out oxygen from it, and then that oxygen goes into the blood. क्या होता है? The air that we breathe, it goes into the lungs now.
Yeah.
It goes into the lungs, right? फिर ये lungs क्या करता है? It will filter out oxygen from the air because air में तो बहुत सारे components हैं. There are different gases present in the air. Okay, just for example, can you name what are the gases present in the air, by the way?
What's that?
What are the different types of uh, gases present in the air?
Nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, uh,
Mhm.
then other gases.
Very good. Nitrogen is there, oxygen is there, carbon dioxide is there. There could be several poisonous gases also, like methane हो सकता है, like there could be carbon monoxide. Okay, no need to be to discuss that thing in that much of detail, right? So here
Yeah.
what is happening now, simply इस एयर से हमने ऑक्सीजन को फिल्टर आउट कर लिया हमारे लंग्स ने, एंड ये ऑक्सीजन को हमारे ब्लड वेसल्स क्या करते हैं ना, द ब्लड वेसल्स टेक दैट ऑक्सीजन टू डिफरेंट सेल्स. ठीक है, से ये हमारे बॉडी में एक सेल है. यू नो दैट एवरी ऑर्गेनिज्म इज मेड अप ऑफ सेल्स, है ना? सिंपल थिंग वी ऑल
Yeah.
नो दैट. Say it is that is a animal cell, and this is a blood nerve जो हमारे लंग से हमारे सेल्स तक पहुंच रहा है, राइट? एंड इट इज एक्चुअली कैरिंग व्हाट, ये क्या कैरी कर रहा है? ऑक्सीजन विद इट. यस अबू.
Yeah.
सो द थिंग हियर इज ना, हमारे बॉडी में जितने भी सेल्स प्रेजेंट है, okay, all of the cells, whether it's the cell of the muscles or the bones, any type of cells you name it, all of them are connected with the blood nerves. ठीक है, I'm not talking about the dead cells. Okay, मैं dead cells की बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ. I'm talking about the cells that are alive. Okay, they are connected to the blood nerves, and the blood nerves continuously brings them oxygen. Is it clear so far? So far, is
Yeah.
it clear? Right? So
Yeah.
all the blood nerves will be bringing oxygen to the cells. ठीक है ना?
Yeah.
And all this exercise is happening due to the breathing, right? Breathing में
Yeah.
हम exhale करते हैं, we exhale the oxygen. करेंगे ना? अब सवाल ये आता है, the question here is that for what purpose does the cells require oxygen? Can you explain that? The question here is that for what purpose will this cell be requiring oxygen? Yeah.
But taking in
Hmm?
like movement of the cell.
नहीं नहीं, not for the movement of the cells. The first line you were saying breaking of something. Breaking of, हमारे बॉडी में किस चीज की ब्रेकडाउन होगी?
Food.
फूड की. एग्जैक्टली एग्जैक्टली. सो फूड, फूड में भी हमने कह दिया लाइक द डिफरेंट, बेसिकली कार्बोहाइड्रेट फूड्स हम ज्यादा कंज्यूम करते हैं ना.
Yeah.
The food that is rich in carbohydrate we consume that in more quantity, right? So in this case what will happen, हमारे सेल्स में सभी फूड पार्टिकल्स पहुंच जाती हैं. द फूड दैट यू आर ईटिंग, वो डाइजेशन के बाद सभी फूड पार्टिकल्स इट goes to the different cells in the body. Yeah, sorry. So it goes to the cells. अब वहां पर क्या होती है, इनकी ब्रेकडाउन होती है with the oxygen. ऑक्सीजन के साथ ब्रेकडाउन होती है. सो ऑक्सीजन विल बी ब्रेकिंग डाउन द कार्बोहाइड्रेट. बेसिकली हमने कह दिया ग्लूकोज की हमने बात कर ली. ओके, दैट इज C6H12O6. So it will be broken down to give out energy plus water plus carbon dioxide. मैंने क्या कहा? I basically said here that the carbohydrate, that is simply the food which we eat, it is broken into very tiny pieces in the body, and that basically goes to the cell. And what happens in the cell? In the presence of oxygen, the carbohydrate, that is simply glucose, हमने कह दिया, it is broken down, and in that process energy is released along with the formation of water and carbon dioxide. Okay, and अब क्या होगा? Carbon
Yeah.
dioxide, is it a good thing for the cell? नहीं. So this carbon
Yeah.
dioxide will be released back into the blood. ये सेल्स कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड को वापस इस ब्लड में भेज देगा. ओके अबू, आर यू गेटिंग इट? है ना?
Yeah.
नहीं,
Yeah.
you are getting it now.
Yeah.
And then this blood nerve, ये blood nerve हमारा, it will carry this carbon dioxide to the lungs, and lungs से ये हमारे बाहर निकल जाएगा फिर by the nostril. Carbon dioxide is at least in the air, right? So respiration is nothing, it is the process of breakdown of food in the presence of oxygen in the human body or in any other animals, or basically in organisms हम कहने कह दिया. Is it clear?
Yeah.
It is clear now?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So then that is all we need to discuss about respiration. Okay. And then further you will get to see like there are different organisms. Like you to tell me like are there certain living organisms, okay, that can survive in absence of oxygen? Hmm? क्या
Yeah.
वैसे living organisms are that can survive in absence of oxygen? Yeah,
Yeah.
there are organisms that can
Cockroach.
survive. Cockroaches? No, I don't believe so. I think cockroaches need oxygen. Okay.
Not. They don't know.
Actually, the thing is that in their body, air holes are present that are called as spiracles. उनके body में क्या होता है ना, spiracles are present, and then
Yeah.
air sacs.
There is, but then there is, but then they can also live without.
Hmm. Yeah, like the thing here is now, वो actually for a certain period of time they can live without air, because the thing is उनके body में air sacs होते हैं. क्या होते हैं? Air
Yes.
sacs. Okay, and air sacs can actually hold air. इनमें एयर्स स्टोर हो सकते हैं फॉर सर्टेन पीरियड ऑफ टाइम. सो दैट्स व्हाई व्हाट हैपेंस ना, अगर कॉकरोचेस को पानी में डुबोते हैं, फिर दे वर टू पुट इन वाटर, दो दोस एयर सैक्स विल बी फिल्ड विद वाटर एंड देन दे विल ड्रॉन, and in this manner they would die. Okay now.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to our discussion, we were talking about respiration, and I said that there are certain organisms that can actually live without oxygen. So like बहुत सारे बैक्टीरियाज की हम बात करते हैं, right? There are certain bacteria that can survive in environment where there is no availability of oxygen, so thereby वो बिना ऑक्सीजन के भी respiration कर सकते हैं. Okay अबू? So certain
Yeah.
organisms are there which can actually do this breakdown of food in their cell uh, without needing the oxygen. ठीक है ना? So we are not going there, by the way, because that is not part of the discussion, right? So basically, we are talking about respiration, and respiration, we basically say that it is the process by which the body breaks down the food in the presence of oxygen. Hello? Okay. Please try and
Yeah.
define it in your own language. क्या है respiration?
Respiration.
Yes.
It is basically like um,
Yes.
uh,
The process by which food is broken down in the human body or in any other organism. Yes, Abu?
yeah,
Okay, honestly, tell me, is this
just
respiration clear to you or not? If not, I will be explaining it again.
yes, sir. It is clear, but then I don't know how to explain it.
Okay, simple है ना? It's simple. Simply क्या हो रहा है? Breakdown किसका हो रहा है हमारे body में? Yes,
Food.
food का हो रहा है. Okay, it can be in, especially अगर हम human body की बात करते हैं, it will be occurring in the presence of oxygen. But then, as I said, you have certain organisms in which breakdown of food can can occur without oxygen. So simply we will say no, the breakdown of food inside the organisms, right now, that in releases
Yeah.
energy. So it is the process in which food is broken down in the living organisms. Living organisms to obtain energy from it. To obtain energy from it. Okay. So that is it we need to discuss. So we will keep it here. हम यहाँ तक रखते हैं आज discussion अपनी. Do one thing. Take the screenshots of the following pages. Take the screenshot of this one. By the way, have you made notes of the previous chapter?
Yeah.
Okay, if you have, then do send me that. Okay, make a PDF of it
Yeah.
and do send that on the WhatsApp number. Shall I move to the next page then?
Yeah. Sir, but I don't know how to make PDFs.
Okay, you can just send
Make
the
the
photos then.
PDF.
You can no install. Okay,
Yes, sir.
no issue. Let me tell you. Look, आपको ना CAM scanner is an application which you can install, or basically any application that converts images into PDF. You can search it in the Google Play Store, or in the iOS device also you can get it. So you will be getting the application that will help you to convert it into PDF, because in the PDF format it is much convenient. Okay now, right? So that
Sir, I
application will
took it
help you
from
convert it.
cam scanner, but then I send it to the where I get the links, and then like they said to send it in the PDF.
No, you don't have the WhatsApp number. Official WhatsApp number, you don't have it.
No, it is like where they send the meeting links.
Okay, okay. So you receive the meeting links on the application, on the app.
I don't have the. I
Okay.
only get it from WhatsApp.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. No,